Well, what a day Sunday was for NRL fantasy, especially if you're an owner of one of my teams. It didn't go too crash hot, especially this Eels and Titans game. If you tune into the live stream or my live reaction for this game, I didn't get too annoyed, but thankfully I didn't stream the second half because I was getting pretty annoyed with the scoring that was on display from my players especially. And this was just a terrible game for the types of players that I wanted I had in my squad with 9, 10, 10 tries in the first 44 minutes. There was just no flow to the game if you were a middle guy, and considering I had someone like Dylan Brown who makes a lot of tackles, and a lot of times he ended up making a run on the fourth play and then they scored in the last, or scored down his side. It was just a bit of a pain in the ass. And then he ended up getting moved to the centres when Russell went down, so that ruined his scoring. We then see Reid Mahoney not getting the tackles that he normally would. Kicked well out of dummy half, but just wasn't a great game for those types of players. And obviously a bit better if you're on an edge. But yeah, just a very stop-start game. And to Eels to get away with 32-28 was lucky for them, but they didn't play very well, let's be honest. And just defensively, both teams weren't great. And then they just both struggled in the second half. So that was that. But welcome back to NRL Fantasy Analysis, guys. Please hit like and subscribe. If you are new here, or if you are one of those people that watches here and there, hit that subscribe button. I'll be posting a lot of videos over the season. So Shawnee Lane, he was targeted a lot on that left side, and Brown wasn't someone to pass to him a lot, which is annoying as well. Very different to what happened in the trials, so it's very hard to gauge a lot of these things. But anyway, he was solid, got a line break and a try. I wouldn't be expecting that each week, and maybe not 80 minutes each week when Nathan Brown comes back. Papali'i had a nice run to finish the game, ended up with 9 tackle breaks, which would have been a mid to high 60s score based on last year's rules. The offloads and stuff still haven't been updated, guys, so just be aware of that. Any of these guys that got one offload, obviously the majority of them are going to be 4-pointers. But he was great. He almost lived up to his price point, mid and edge, dual, no origin. He'll be solid. Fafita, a couple of decent runs there. One line break there, and 122 meters was okay. You're obviously wanting a little bit higher from him, somewhere in the 60, 65 would be nice. But with how a lot of the guns performed in this first week, it's not the biggest issue going around. All right, Mitchy Moses had a great first half. 3 try assists there, 6 goals. You're not going to get that from him all the time. And obviously, you'll expect the kick meters to be up a lot more as well. So he was solid. 4 missed tackles was about normal for him to go along with all the attacking stats he gets. So 51 you'll take, especially with what majority of the Para guys scored in this game. Toby Sexton had an amazing half. He's a good player, right? I do agree with this. He's going to be a great player. That cutout ball earlier in the game for the Philip Sammy try was absolutely mint. But he had an awesome half of footy, right? Like as good as it can get for a young half. He had 2 turnover tackles, kicked the ball a lot. No real negative. I think he had 2 missed tackles in that first stanza. Basically all the goals in that first half. Got a try assist, and he still ended up with 45 for the game. So be aware of that. Yes, they came up against a decent side, but they did also score a lot of points. So not every time they're going to be scoring 28 and getting 4 goals. It might be down to like 2 goals a game. You probably expect the 1 try assist. You won't expect the 2 turnover tackles every game, and I'd still expect a bunch of misses there. So 45, you would have hoped for a bit higher in this game, but just be aware of that if you're looking to pick him up. I'd probably just hold steady. He is a 600k, remember, so he's at at a gun price of 48 average. That 45 was great, and you can expect some good scores out of him, but I wouldn't be stressing to pick him up at this stage. Shawnee Russell was a really nice start for him. Obviously, the gameplay that they have, Gutho down the left hand side, some nice cutout balls from Moses. Russell's going to get plenty of action. It looks like he's probably going to be out for 3 to 6 weeks with some broken ribs. So if you own him, you can probably look to trade him out. It's a bit of a pain. Thankfully he'll make some cash, but yeah, just annoying. 3 tries in the first 34 minutes. You're absolutely cheering. If you played him in the starting side, which I doubt many people would, but at least on the emergencies, you get a good bunch of price rises. So yeah, that's annoying for him. He's probably going to be a trade out. Madison, thankfully I moved him on. I did move him on from Matt Burton in the head-to-head side, but yeah, Matto with 53 minutes. I would have expected a bunch more minutes. Nothing too much happened for him. Tackles were pretty low in this game. I'd expect somewhere between 35 to 40 for him. And 110 meters was solid. 1 offload, 1 tackle break. So just not a massive game for him. The bigger minutes he can play, the better. So he might revert back to the edge pretty soon, and hopefully a little bit cheaper for anyone who would look to pick him up. Because if you can get him somewhere close to that 650, 600, if you don't have him yet, then that would be great. Reedy, how bad were the updates? The down dates, I should say, in this game. I had Reed with 43, and he goes back down to a 36. I think he lost a turnover tackle. Just really annoying for him. 36 in a full game of footy for him is very close to like one of his lowest scores for sure. I'm going to see what him and Brown have picked up over the last few years, if they've had any scores that low, because Reed's been super consistent, and it was just a pain in the butt there for sure. All right, Reed. So he got a 36 there. You look at his scores at the start of last year. His lowest score, barring injury, was a 46. He had a 44 in his last game in 77 minutes. Like, seriously, 36 this time. I literally did the exact same thing as last year. Last year I started with Cook. He gets 37, his lowest score in like 3 years. This year I start with Reed, and he has his lowest score in... Has he ever had lower in a full game? 22 in 52 minutes, 39 in 52. He literally doesn't... In an 80-minute game, he doesn't have a lower score. That's actually ridiculous. So annoying. What that means is you got to hold on to him, right? He's going to be fine. Yes, he's going to lose some cash, but a lot of people will be looking to pick him up, actually, over the next period. Yes, Grant's going to be great, but don't be swapping him for Harry Grant. I think that's a silly idea. And we'll load up Dylan Brown as well, just to have a look at some of his lowest scores also. All right, we move on. Fodawaker with 34 in his 58 minutes. He'll improve on that. If you do own him at this stage, then don't be too stressed, but he has a couple of games like that here and there. If you had for more, the 34 with a try assist is not great. Only running for 31 meters is crazy. Yes, both teams. It's a very weird game, right? A lot of the guys in this, you just have to hold steady and hope that they improve from there. He just had just a nothing running game, where he usually gets a bunch of tackle breaks, offloads. But good to see he got 80 minutes. Yes, they had a few shuffles around the park with a couple of guys playing about 70 minutes on their two wings. Proctor had to come in and cover a little bit. So there's a few different things happening, but that is that. Hold on to for more at 450k is fine. Penasini had a great game without doing too much. 76 meters, a couple of forced dropouts. Is that right? FDOs? Yeah, 2 forced dropouts, which was cool. I think one of them was tackling and one of them was kicking. But yeah, 76 run meters is not that much. To get 2 tackle breaks and an offload in that is fine. 20 tackles for 3 misses. We'll cop in a game where there was a lot of points scored. So yeah, hold on to him. Play him each week. I think he looks really great. He looks good in defense. He looks good in attack. He'll be fine. Dylan Brown, let's have a look at his scores over the last bunch of years. All right, 2021. We have a 38 in a low game for him in round 8. We have a 39 in a low game, and a 38 and a 34. So that's just four games last year that he was under 40, and he starts off with a 31 being one of his lowest. The other big thing to look at is his missed tackle rate. There's games where he has 29 tackles for 0, 25 for 0, 30 for 0, 26 for 1, 23 for 0. Not once last year. Actually, let's find a game where he's had 5 missed tackles. Round 18, 2019 was the last time he missed 5 tackles. Seriously. Can it get any worse in round 1, guys? Come on. Look out for me. Look after me. Run that narrative that Dylan Brown's going to go good. And he picks up a 31. And that included a try assist too. 18 tackles for 5 misses. He moved out to the centers. Nothing just went right for him apart from that one try, like that one moment. Nothing went right. So he'll be fine. Overall, he'll be sweet. The Eels will be a lot better defensively, so there'll be more time in play. He'll get more tackles. He'll run the ball a bit more. It'll all be a bit better for him. But yeah, just not a great start, let's be honest, for Dill. Junior Paulo, if you're running that narrative that he was going to do really well, this is what happens if you look at his stats as well. He's someone that has a lot of games with low scores and then has a bunch of games with high scores. He started with 270s last year with tries, and then in years past, and then in other games he'll get the low scores. Thank you, my internet's killing it today. But yeah, a 39's in there. He's got 27s, he's got 33s, 24s, 46, 38, 40. So this is more like Junior Paulo, whereas other guys like Brown and Reed is very, very out of character. So I'd be worried if you picked up Paulo thinking he was going to do really well this year. Yes, he didn't have any offloads. That'll come. He'll have some improved scores for sure, but he's going to be volatile. Can you handle that? All right, just a couple to go. Gutho with 19. He looked pretty solid, to be fair, early on with that try assist, but, three missed tackles, 2 errors. He had 3 forced dropouts, so he's solid that way, but, yeah, not ideal. Holding on to him for sure if you have him, and then Paddy Herbert with 4 wasn't great, but he does have a bunch of those games in him. All right, move to the last game of the week, which was my Cowboys up against the Dogs, and they were dominating the Dogs the whole game. Just couldn't score points, and they got to about 60 minutes in, and it was 6-4, and I was like, you watch, the Cowboys are going to lose this, and obviously the slight offside there from Hamiso killed that nice finish from my squad, but that was that. This will be probably the 2 bottom teams, 15 and 16. Yeah, based on round 1 play, was definitely the worst game and the worst quality from both sides, but we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. A couple of guys I was impressed with was Tommy Gilbert. That try that he scored at the start, you see the passion he had for the jersey, which was really cool. Obviously, first try for the year for the Cowboys in front of their home crowd. That's going to G you up a little bit, but that was really, really impressive. He even had a couple of penalties and a couple of missed tackles, but work rate was really high. Playing 75 minutes through the edge and also the middle was really, really cool. And he becomes a decent option, right? He's going to be up closer to the 500k mark after this game once things are updated, but it's just more the worry with this Cowboys pack is who's going to be getting those big minutes. Will they chop and change it regularly? And they have Ruben Cotter coming back in. What happens when he plays? There's a few question marks. And someone like Jeremy Nanai, he looks like he's a really, really good player. I'm really high on him after last night. The one missed tackle, we can probably see him getting another missed tackle or 2 just in better games against better teams, for example. But, a nice work rate of 32 tackles there on an edge. Obviously had a line break, but just, super solid player. 150 meters for 3 tackle breaks. If he's playing 80 minutes, I can see him averaging around that 40 mark. This is probably an outlier game with a 56 against a lesser side. But if he can average around that 40, he's going to be making 125, 150k. And he'll have the standout game or 2 where he has a nice line break and try. Because he ran a good line. I think he's someone who's going to naturally improve over the year. So he's someone I'll be targeting this week to bring into our squads. Lukey Thompson had a great game with 58 in his 63 minutes. Just tackled hard and ran the ball well. So nothing crazy for him to get those points. But he is priced at 60 there. At 60? No, I'm wrong. 695 is priced at the mid-high 50s. That's right. So getting around where he should be scoring anyway. How good was Maxie King? 56 off the bench, and you probably didn't even see him because he did make a bunch of runs there, but no tackle breaks in there. The one offload, but the 40 tackles for no misses is absolutely incredible. He shouldn't do that every week. If he's getting 35 minutes, which I'm probably going to project, I can see him getting around a point a minute. So still someone who's going to make you a ton of money. Yeah, if he can get the odd 50 points in there as well. Would you play him in your team every week? I'd probably have him pretty close, maybe like a 4th interchange or 5th emergency. If you've got someone out like a Shawnee Russell and you're not moving him on, you can play the loot game for sure. But he was awesome and he needs to be in everyone's side, I think. Yes, they did have a couple of HIAs, a couple of injuries as well. Patola, for example, went off after a shorter period of time, so he may have had his minutes slightly inflated. Could have been playing 30, for example, but he was awesome. Reece Robson was killing it, a point a minute for his 53 before he came off for Granville, so that's always the worry. If he has 80 minutes, he's always like a 700k player. Hamiso was really, really good. Again, it's probably not going to be coming up against this type of team always, but do look at the fact that he had 1 try save and 4 turnover tackles. So, a few there that, Addo Carr was just run straight at him. I don't know what he was doing, and then just a normal tackle, and he lost it. So just a few things happened. He got 9 points from that try saver when he ripped it out of Averillo's hands, for example. So he shouldn't be getting 52 that easily with only 136 minutes, 4 tackle breaks. The 11 tackles was really nice, and the 3 kick defusals, but he's going to improve over the year as well. I wouldn't be targeting him. He's going to be close to 500k, so he has to score over 40 to have much value, but he was cool. And again, not going to be playing this type of team every week. Paul Vaughan was okay. Lolo is another interesting one, 45 in his 51 minutes, so he ran the ball pretty well. Just not as much footwork, and they really just got 2 and 3 on him really quickly and held him up, so he couldn't offload the ball either. So 1 tackle break 0 offloads. If he can keep these base stats of 30 tackles and 130 meters at least, right, and he's probably got his minutes are probably going to increase a little bit. I'm expecting 55-ish, maybe to 60. Obviously, first came back from a little hammy tweak. I think he's going to improve and improve. He'll be fine. I wouldn't be moving him on for sure. Expect him to be hitting some scores over 50 in the next little bit, just because he looked pretty good, to be fair. And just remember, you got guys like Josh Jackson playing 64 minutes, priced at 140k more, only getting 44. And he had a bit of a nothing game. 1 error, 1 penalty, 68 meters only. So not his best game, but he'll be fine as well. Braden Burns had a solid game. He's a bit a little bit too expensive. Dearden was solid. Burton with 39. A lot of people are blowing up with Burton. The 505 kick meters, it's awesome. Ran the ball for 80. 20 tackles for 3 misses is cool, but no attacking stats. You know, no line breaks, only the 1 tackle break, no offloads, 1 goal. Yes, they're not great as a team. He needs to do a little bit better for sure, but he will do better. 39's fine, right? He's priced at just under the the 50 mark as well. Is that right? Yeah, about 47, 48 for Birdo. So you're not going to lose too much on him. And this is kind of his base game at 39, 40, I'd say. And he'll improve from there. So don't worry too much about Matty. Townsend was all right. Marshall King, a few people were asking about. This is kind of normal to what he's going to get. 37 here and there, and then a random 50. Done for 48 minutes. Will he continue getting that? I'm not sure. Dufty, 37. If you're looking at him, I wouldn't be bothering in a team that's struggling. Halem Lukey played 52 minutes. Just be aware with the minutes, guys, that JTB, Tanua Brown, which we'll talk about in a sec, he played some lesser minutes. Not sure exactly what happened, if it was HIA or he just went off for a small injury or something, but we'll find out over the next few days. But that obviously inflated a few guys. Maybe Lukey plays a little bit less. Maybe some of the other guys play a little bit less. But his 36 and 52 is pretty promising, right? 34 tackles for 1 miss and 81 meters, no attacking stats. So he was cool. But again, not someone we'll target at this point. Val Holmes with 13s. He's priced in a plummet a little bit. If you own him, I'd be worried just for the fact that how bad the Cowboys are going to be this year. Beyond Diodo, he has been a great player. He's just not going to get the minutes, unfortunately. If he's coming on for JMK, then that is an issue. Obviously, Naden didn't play the full amount of time, but Shop came on and played some time there. But yeah, not a great game on this one, and not a great finish to the rankings for my teams, especially with updates, was an absolute killer. I think I was around 3K for my team and ended up about 5,500 just on updates alone. So. And I think the people squad were sitting about 380, and now they're in the 850s. So yeah, it's round one. The rankings change like that, right? Because everyone's coming from a base of 0. There's no I'm ahead of you and you're below me, for example, at this point, and chopping and changing. It's just all on that round one score. But we'll go through all those all of the teams there, the people squad, the head to head, and also my team in a video later tonight once we have. Clearance on lockout and all the scores and the offloads are going to be put back together. Round 1 usually takes a bit extra time in general, just because they must forget how to do it all. But secondly, with all the offloads that need to be added in, that will need to happen before any of it as well locks out, and we can make trades again. So just be waiting on that. It's going to take a little bit extra time. I hope you enjoyed all that. And you've learned a lot this weekend. Maybe you're starting to think about the types of players that you want to bring into your side. Maybe some cash cows. Maybe there's a gun that you feel like you missed out on. All of that to work out over the next few days. But I'll be waiting till team lists to find any of that out and make those decisions yourself. I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and we will catch you in the next video. See you later.